So the scenario goes, you've started a business, you start to do your research, you hear that Google ads and Facebook organic posting and Instagram stories, and you hear all of these buzzwords, but you're confused about how to manage all of these tasks. If that sounds familiar to you, then this video is really going to help you out, because today we'll be talking about how to create an editorial calendar that helps you maintain content consistency and also helps you to manage all of these tasks. So if you're new to this channel, my name is Tiffany Domena, and this is the How to Entrepreneur channel, where we talk about how to start or grow a business from idea to full-time income and from full-time income to enterprise. So if you haven't yet, definitely hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for upcoming videos. So why should you create an editorial calendar? So an editorial calendar is like a visual workflow of all of the content that you need to publish and put out. And it helps you to stay much more organized. If you ever find yourself with several tabs open and you're toggling between each tab, and you start one project and move on to the next one and move on to the next one, it's likely that you're doing that because you haven't actually sat down and prioritized which thing needs to be done first and what's most important and what deadline is when. So when you actually sit down and do a plan like that, it helps a lot, because it helps to make sure that the content and the things that you're producing are consistent with your business plan, consistent with your monthly, your quarterly, and your annual goals. And it also helps to make sure that you are productive. So and I also think it helps with if you have writer's block sometimes, or you find yourself sitting in front of the computer trying to figure out, where do I start? It helps with that because you can actually start by thinking about your goals and we'll talk about all the steps to create this editorial calendar. And then I'll actually do a demonstration and show you exactly how to use one. So why we talked about what is an editorial calendar and why an editorial calendar works. And so let's get right into the steps of how to create your editorial calendar. So first things first, you want to make sure that you're clear about your business monthly, quarterly, and annual goals. What product are you trying to sell? What service are you trying to sell? Do you have any sales or promotions going on? What is your business's financial goals? And what are you trying to do to reach your target audience? Where might they be? And all of those things, just being clear about those goals that you have is the first step, because then you can create content that is relevant to achieving those goals. So first, once you have your monthly, quarterly, and annual goals, and then you want to definitely split those up, then you want to start thinking about who is your target customer. So what age are they? What platforms might they use? What groups might they be in? What things might they be looking for as leading them to your product or service? So you want to be really clear about who they are, what they might be looking for, and then number 3, you want to brainstorm about what problems your target customer might face in their journey before they find you. So most customers or most people, if before they have a problem, they go through a series of phases. So first they might be talking to friends and then figure out that they have a problem. Or they might be watching YouTube videos, and maybe they're watching an entertaining YouTube video and they realize, man, they used that and it made it much easier for them to clean their house. And I'm sitting over here taking hours and hours to clean my house. Why don't I see if I can find something like what they have? So, usually something prompts them or agitates a problem. And once that problem is agitated, then they might go to try to read more about the problem. to see what solutions there might be to the problem, and then they go from there to narrowing down the options and comparing different options, and then isolating a specific contender, and then taking action. So considering that there are several steps in the scope of what we do to solve a problem, then if you are creating content in order to solve a problem for people, or if you're looking for more customers, then you really want to create content that addresses them at those various phases of the buyer's journey. So they might be in the awareness phase where they just they might not even realize they have a problem yet, and so you can address them there, or you can go deeper into the funnel. And as you create content, usually you want to create a library that will address them at each phase. And over time, your website ends up being or even your social media pages, your just Rolodex of content ends up being kind of like a robot that spits out information and helps service your customers along their journey. So they continue to come back and come back and come back, because it's like a content buffet where they're able to come back and keep getting their questions answered and keep finding satisfaction with your content. So you definitely want to brainstorm. Some questions that you might want to ask yourself is, what problems are they facing that leads them to me or to you? What types of questions might they have? What are their buying motives? Are they looking for a sale? Are they looking for luxury? Are they looking for, what exactly are they looking for when they come to you? What might they be looking for in the awareness phase of the buyer's journey? What about in the phase where they're contemplating which solution is best for their goals? What content can help to meet them where they are? So these are some things that you could think about to help create your content plan. Now, number 3 is, it really goes deeper into that, and you really want to think about, or number 3 is brainstorming about the problems that your target customer might face in their journey before finding your solution. So we kind of already talked about that. But number 4 is brainstorm content ideas that would intersect with their journey to solve the problem. So, for example, let's say you are selling paint for houses. So the person that might be looking to buy paint for houses some of them might not realize that they need to paint. So you can write articles like how to see if you have lead in your house, how to identify if you have lead in your paint, what happens when your paint is chipping, safety hazards for children around chipping paint. Like different article ideas or different ideas like that could attract people who may not even realize they have a problem. Maybe they have chipping paint, but they didn't realize it could be hazardous. So once they realize that it's hazardous, then they know this is a problem that needs to be solved, and then they decide to look for paint. But maybe or maybe there's another target audience, like real estate investors. So maybe you write an article like top 5 ways to get your house to rent faster. And you put in there that, of course, painting the house can help to rent the house faster. So those are some ideas of how to catch people in the awareness phase. But maybe once they get closer to deciding to buy, then they're trying to figure out which brand should they buy. Should they buy Sherwin-Williams, or should they buy Home Depot's brand, or should they buy another brand? And so they might be looking more for a comparison or more for a review of specific paints, or maybe they might be looking for the best paint colors for a young girl, or the best paint colors for a nursery, or something like that. So those might attract people who are later in the buying journey. So these are some content ideas and things that you could think about to attract people who are in various phases of the journey. So number 5, after you have thought about these different content ideas, you definitely want to document them somewhere. So you want to jot them all down either in a journal. And for me, I like to use Trello, and I'll show you in a few minutes how I create a Trello board that helps me to track what content needs to go out and what dates I want to have everything published. And I'll also leave a link in the description box below where you can get this Trello board for yourself so you can start to use it and become even more consistent and efficient with your content as well. And finally, or number 6, you want to set deadlines for each piece of content. So not only do you want to write down all of these ideas and your goals and all these things, but once you have these content ideas like top 5 reasons or top 5 ways to rent your house fast. So you have this idea that this is a great post to publish, this would attract the target audience, then you need to put a date on it. So you decide how often are you publishing content and what day will you be available to actually work on this. And so you want to make sure that your content consistency is congruent with the outcome that you expect. So if you want to be able to generate more leads or whatever, then you have to make sure that you're producing enough content consistent with the market demand and that you're attracting new potential customers so that your goals can actually be fulfilled. So you want to set deadlines for each piece of content. And finally, this one is kind of common sense, but number 7, you definitely want to stick to the plan. So some of us really love strategizing. We love thinking about this stuff. We love studying about what we should be doing. We love taking courses and all of these things, but the real problem is execution. So execution is so important when it comes to your editorial plan. You want to plan out your content, but then you have to actually respond and do the work. So that is the final step. So let's jump right in and let me show you how to use the Trello editorial calendar template that I have linked below. So let's jump right into Trello. So now we're inside of Trello, and this is how I like to keep my editorial calendar. So as you can see, I have my main goals over here, and this is just an example of how I usually do it, but I usually have my main goals over here. So like for quarter 1, I might want to publish 3 blog posts per week or 12 blog posts per month. Or for you, you might want to publish more or less than that. So you would put your quarter 1 goals there. You put how much you want to do for YouTube. You might have goals for another traffic channel. I personally recommend that you focus, if you are one person or a solopreneur, then you focus on 1 to 2 traffic channels. And if you have a bigger team, then you may want to go up from there. I know I've done many more traffic channels than that, but when you take on too much, then you tend to fall off on other things. So definitely at the most, I think maybe like 4, even if you're very efficient. It can be difficult to manage everything that's required for a lot of traffic channels because they each require content and engagement and, all of those things. So that's why I say 1 to 2 is usually a good idea, but I've been in the boat where I've done more than that and still gotten results or attracted potential customers. So if you are able to regulate it, then definitely do it. But you may have quarter one goals for how many blog posts, how many YouTube videos, how many emails you're sending out to your list, how many posts you're sending out on social media, to your traffic channels, and then what types of content are you going to be creating this quarter, and then the editorial calendar, you have to review that. So for me, I like to review it every month to make sure that it's still congruent with where I'm trying to go. And then you might have also like sales goals. So you have your quarter one sales goal is to acquire 1 to 5 service clients. And this is just like, again, an example. You might also want to sell product 1, whatever that product might be. It might be an affiliate product. It might be your own product. So it might be a product that you plan to launch. So you have this quarter one goal that you want to get sales to a certain point with product 1. You want to get sales to a certain point with product 2. And you might be trying to prepare for another paid product. So these are goals that all require your effort and your content. So I like to put my completed things here. So when I have, like, let's say I've written my nurturing email, I have sent it out, then I would put it over here and mark it as published and take it off from being a top priority. So that's what I like to do. But if it's not completed, then I will put it back over here. And so in terms of creating blog content ideas, I would think about what these goals are. So I'm really trying to get more service clients. So then I might do more content that is targeted towards those service clients. So for example, going back to the paint idea, if my product is selling paint, but maybe my service is actually to consult people about paint. So I might come up with ideas that are relevant to achieving that goal. So maybe like so I might have here that this is a blog idea and how to choose the right paint color. Okay, so this is just an example, but let's say that is my my post idea. And so now that I have this idea, I go in and I add a due date on it. So I would say I publish my blog content. If I'm doing 3 days a week, maybe I might be publishing content on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I would schedule this one for Friday, and let's say I schedule it for, or let's say Monday at 4 p.m. So, and I have a reminder set up for 1 day before. So then this due date would go on there, and maybe I have, you see I have several dates that I've already populated in here, and I have my other traffic channels loaded in here as well. So if you have, maybe you have your blog, you have email marketing, you have YouTube, maybe you're doing Pinterest or Facebook or Instagram, Google My Business, Twitter, Google Ads, YouTube Ads, Facebook Ads, Microsoft Ads. I don't know what all you have in your marketing plan, but you can use Trello and start to plan all of those things. So maybe for your Facebook ads, you are looking for images for your ads this month, or you're creating headlines for those ads, and you can set a deadline on that. Or maybe for Microsoft ads, you are creating your keyword list and trying to figure out which keywords will be relevant for your target audience. So you're doing your market research this month, and you're going to launch those ads next month. Maybe you're shooting your video for your YouTube ads, depending on what your marketing plan looks like, you can really you can really make this work for you. And the same thing with your product development process. You might have a product that you're working on, so then you can put a date on step 1 and make sure that you have enough time in the day to work on the blog, to work on your social media, to work on your YouTube and whatever else you have going on. So this is how I plan it all, and then I have my resources here. So I might have my checklist or my blog post templates here, and then whatever promotions are coming up, I might put that here, so that way I can be mindful that maybe one of my affiliate partners is running a promotion or they have a sale coming up, and I can try to incorporate that into my content as well. So then after everything has a date on it, then you can go back and you'll see it on your actual calendar here, and it can help you to see what you have going on visually. It's really helpful, and you can even move things around, like if you know that maybe something came up, you have to change your tire on the day that you scheduled for this blog post to be due. So maybe it just it messed up your planning for your day, but you still want to get this done. This post is still important, so you just move it around. So that way that goal is still accomplished, but it's just moved around to a different day. So the Trello board, another thing I really like about it is that it integrates with Google Calendar. So if you have those power-ups on, then you can have it integrate with Google Calendar. But even if you don't, and you add yourself as a member to the board, then you'll get the notifications that are set for the board. So that way you'll remember, and it'll tell you on your phone that this product review, this video product review is due on the 26th by 5 o'clock, and it'll send you the notification depending on how you set it up. So if you set it up that you want the notification one day before, then it'll let you know one day before. But it's also nice once you really get in the swing of working on your editorial calendar, then eventually you can get ahead. And that's a really cool part, is like once you have a month of content or 2 months or 3 months or more under your belt, and everything is just set, then it takes off some of the load. It's kind of like saving money. You know, once you are not paycheck to paycheck and you have money saved, then you don't have to worry about if a rainy day comes up. And the same way with content, if you really want to have a consistent flow of customers and things like that coming in, then it's best to have your content planned out, so that way your focus is more on engagement than on the production of content. But these are just some tips so that you can create content consistently and so that you can publish content consistently. This has helped me. I actually just started using an editorial calendar, but I don't know why it took me so long to get into it. Since I started it, it's so helpful because I can actually track how much I am really producing on a month-to-month basis, and it makes it scalable where when I hire, then I know that I can pass off a plan to them, and they're not like, well, what should I be writing about? But I can just plug them into a system that's already working. So hopefully this was helpful for you. If it was, please give a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, where I do product and service reviews as well as growth strategies to help you grow a business from idea to full-time income and from full-time income to enterprise, then definitely subscribe to this channel and click the bell icon so you can be notified of upcoming videos. That's all I have for this video, and I really hope to see you in the next one. By the way, if you wanted to have a copy of this Trello board, definitely go to the description box below and snag your copy. So that's all I have for this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.